everyone, and welcome back to another moon update collective reading. We are having a powerful new moon in the sign of Scorpio. According to what I've heard, this new moon does have a lot of problematic transits associated with it. And then on top of that, I think there's going to continue to be some of these more difficult, intense transits throughout the week. So if you notice the energy a little bit more aggressive or uncomfortable, uneasy, if you notice there's people wanting to pop off all of a sudden and just act very impulsive, irrational, know that it is in the air. But those of us that are here watching, tuning in, we understand this, right? We know that this is the energy that is being highlighted right now. It's what's being supported. So as long as we're conscious of it, I think that we are able to get in control and be able to really transcend these energies so that we're not like at the mercy of the astrology, but we're able to transcend these energies. We're able to stay in our center, in our power, remain neutralized throughout as the true sovereign beings that we are. But of course, it is always helpful to know what's happening, I think, in the astrology. Just like I said, to be aware of it, to be conscious of it, but not necessarily to become a victim of it or be at the mercy of it. And if something does happen, like if something does pop off in your life and you are affected in an intense way, which I think we all are going to be in our own ways, but yeah, you definitely shouldn't take that on as like, oh my gosh, I'm weak, I'm letting it control me, but more so let it show you what's coming up. You know, because whatever's coming up, it's always for a reason. So just see like, what is it trying to bring your attention towards? What is it trying to shine a light on? And move from there. The universe is always working with us, not against us. So I think as long as we have that perspective, we'll be okay. But yeah, the Scorpio new moon definitely is already looking to be like, it's going to be forceful. It's kind of like reaching a point where something can come up, something can happen that's going to cause shakeups and that's going to create a forceful change through crisis, or really trying to solve a problem or being put in that position where we really need to solve a problem. And so we have to make certain changes that may be uncomfortable to get ourselves on the right track, to do what's right for us in this moment. Unfortunately, these types of things happen sometimes because it takes us this long, you know. Us humans, we tend to be really stubborn. We tend to be creatures of habit. So sometimes for us, a crisis does need to happen in order for us to like realize that something needs to change. A big blow up, a big shakeup is what's needed for a lot of us to like wake up to something and to finally, you know, make some moves. And usually when it happens like this, when it goes down in this way, it's uncomfortable, you know, because it's like unexpected. And again, it's forceful. And you might feel like, oh my God, I don't have another choice, you know, like this has to happen. This has to get done. This problem has to get solved. So I would say that right now is definitely not a time to like hold off on things, not a time to wait. It's a time where like we are being asked to act, to do what we have to do, to show up as difficult as it can be, because we know it's needed, we know it's necessary. But again, that's not to say that, you know, you have to feel like you're in a rush and you have to feel like you have to hurry up and like get things done. It's really being encouraged right now to make sure you take your deep breaths, to make sure you take that extra time that you need to ground yourself, to do your morning meditation, to do your, you know, your chanting, your prayers, whatever it is that you do to ground, so that you can stay as calm as possible through whatever is happening in your life at this time. So that's just a little brief astrological energy check-in. Now we're going to move into pulling some oracle cards, some tarot cards, to see what spirit would like to communicate to us, to highlight to us as I drop my first card of the night. But yeah, now we're gonna see like what spirit wants to highlight for us. what Spirit would like to communicate to those of us that are here, that are tuned in, open, ready to receive these messages. These messages are meant to be contemplated upon, and if you can, applied and integrated during this 2-week period. We are always in connection with the highest vibrational, highest streams of consciousness, our loving, beautiful, benevolent soul family that are all gathered here to give all of us messages to help us align back to ourselves, to our heart, to the highest path available to each of us. These messages are meant to be for the highest good of all, for those of you here tuning in, watching, as well as those around you who get directly impacted and influenced by your energy, so that these positive healing vibes can continue to spread throughout as needed, as necessary. But yeah, do you guys like my rose petals? They're actually like all dried up now, but I've had them for like a week and they were soft and velvety and amazing, and I just like loved putting my fingers through them, and then they dried up, but they still smell so good. So I don't want to throw them out. I don't really know what to do with them. So I decided I was going to use them for decoration for this reading. Okay, let me stop being distracted and keep pulling these cards. You can take this moment to take a deep breath in, ground your energy, find some stillness. The space here is cleansed and cleared. It feels really nice in here right now. So let's see what Spirit wants to communicate with us for this new moon in Scorpio moon cycle. Oh. Okay. I think this is good for now, and I'll probably pull some more oracle cards. But first, let's see what's going on over here. Okay, so Spirit is asking us to find balance, and I do think that we are going to be going through maybe more difficult emotions, or we are going to be finding ourselves very emotional, very sensitive. Maybe some of us need to cry it out, Scorpio to me is always like, well, it's a lot of things, but the way I've been thinking about it lately is it's disappointment, it's disillusionment, it's heartbreak. It's also like our shadow side, the things that we keep stuffed, hidden, that is uncomfortable, taboo, that we don't want to look at. It's like where our pain exists. So something about this I feel like is coming up, and it's going to require us to have to be strong to face it, to look at it. But I think it is something that it's good that it's happening. It's something that needs to come up, because you're going to be able to see it clearer. You're going to have clear vision, pure vision, and you're going to understand whatever it is that's coming up that you have to look at, that can be very uncomfortable, and it's going to feel very raw, and you might feel very sensitive. I think it is going to have that effect on us. But through that, needing to go through that pain, that heartbreak, we do find clarity, we do find truth, and we're able to bring balance to something. So Spirit is definitely saying that we do need to be strong during this period. And again, like whatever comes up, it's always because we can handle it. If it's coming up, it's because we can handle it. So we're strong enough to meet whatever it is that's coming up. And it's coming up because there's a truth that we need to get. There's like still a truth that we need to extract from the situation in whatever way this is showing up for you. There's a need for us to understand why something had to happen, or to understand that something is happening, in the first place. But I think we are going to be seeing something more clearly. And like, again, it's not really going to be the easiest thing to have to face and accept, you know what I mean? And acknowledge. But we are being called to take responsibility and to be accountable and to do the work that we're being called to do, to face this, to meet whatever this is, and to be able to see it in a new light, see it with fresh eyes, take some sort of truth, some sort of clarity, something that you are taking with you that is definitely going to influence your life in a big way from this point forward. So again, this could have to do with themes regarding deep hidden fears, transformation, death, secrets, power dynamics, abuse, sex. But these things are coming up because it's an opportunity for us to be able to invite in this rebirth energy. So we're really being called to lean in and just let this light show us whatever it needs to show us so that we can rise up from it. We can rise up from the pain, from the disappointment, from the heartbreak. So let's see, I'm going to pull more cards. This message is short and sweet, looks like. My kids and I were actually studying the history of the beginning of America, the history of Thanksgiving, ultimately. It kind of started on Indigenous Peoples Day. We were having a discussion about it, and I saw that there was some interest there, so I decided to dedicate this month to this topic. And I don't know, like that's coming up, so I feel like that's a good example of this energy, I'm American. I was born and raised here. And it's true that they taught us like this happy, happy, joy, joy story of Thanksgiving about how the pilgrims came and that they all got along. They held hands, sang kumbaya, and, they all had this amazing dinner together, embracing each other, this feast, the end, And while that would have been nice, the reality of the situation is that there was a lot of bloodshed, again, a lot of power dynamics at hand, secrets, lies, agendas. It was a dark time, for the Native Americans especially. And the proof of that is like they literally tried to erase it from history. Like they weren't really trying to tell the kids the truth. Like never was I taught, when I was in school, the truth about Columbus and what they did and how they treated those people that they found on these lands, Columbus and the other European settlers, because it was all to try to maintain power, to try to get wealthy. They didn't care to get to know the people that were already inhabiting those lands, these people that had such a strong spiritual connection and that were living in harmony with the lands. These are people that could have really taught them something valuable, but they kind of like judged the book by its cover. They saw something that they didn't understand and they judged it. They thought that they were superior and that the Native Americans were less than. And it was just all wrong. You know what I mean? Like when you go and you learn the real truth, the history that happened, when you get both sides of the story and not just the European side of the story, it's absolutely heartbreaking what the Indigenous peoples had to go through. So I feel like that's the energy here too. It's like, having to face something difficult, like a hard truth that's really gonna like break your heart. And it has the possibility to cause some sort of disillusionment, like you thought something was a certain way and now you're seeing the truth, and it's heartbreaking, it's painful. But everyone deserves to know the truth. We all deserve the truth so that we can then inform our decisions based upon the truth and not lies and secrets and illusions, So let's see, I'm gonna pull 2 more cards here. So yeah, I think, look, Scorpio energy right here. You guys came out. Scorpios, this is your moon. But anywho, yes. Yeah, I'm seeing that it's just important. Something needs to come out. You need to see the truth about something, because if you don't, you are going to plant a seed or you are going to nurture something that is like underhanded, fishy, shady, something that has lies attached to it. It's like you might give into a delusion, or you might be growing, nurturing something that is like beneath your standards. And then it's going to be even harder for you in the long run. So I think this is really our opportunity right now to uncover something, to find something out, to catch something before it's too late. I feel like Spirit could be giving us the opportunity to turn things around. They don't want us to like have to learn something the hard way. It's an opportunity for us to like see something and then take some sort of action to prevent making like a bad decision, a wrong move that you're going to regret in the long run. They're showing me that right now it's still a seed. Like you can still choose to see it for what it is, kind of like see the poison of this, see that this in some way is rotten, and you can choose to go a different direction, go a different way to transform, to transcend this, to put an end to this now, while it is still this little small seed. But you need to be able to see it clearly. And so that's why Spirit is asking you to take responsibility and to take the time that you need to take to slow down, to breathe, to find stillness, to calm your mind, to be present, stay focused, really like, I don't know, be observant. Because I feel like it's like something that someone might say that maybe gives them away, or yeah, it's like if someone comes to you with some kind of a plan or some kind of proposal, some kind of offer, I feel like when you're in that place where you have a very clear, calm mind, you can catch it, you can pick up on it, you can see the poison of this offer, of this proposal. And as long as you're acting from a place of integrity and morality, it's like you're not gonna give into this, you know? You're not gonna give into this any longer, or just at all. You're gonna be able to suss it out as soon as it comes into your presence. But there is a need here for you to like move with authority and for you to take responsibility, be a true leader, and act according to like your true values, and take a stand, you know, take a stand towards law and order, towards fairness. Really assert yourself, speak your truth, you know, like declare yourself, make it clear what you will be a part of and what you will not be a part of, what you will tolerate and what you will not tolerate, what you will participate in and what you will not participate in. It's like it's time for you to declare yourself, speak your truth, and to show where it is that you stand, which side it is that you're on. Are you, you know, trying to go for the shortcut? Are you trying to like be around the people that kind of work at night, work in the dark, work behind the scenes, aren't who they say they are? Again, take like this underhanded approach. Or are you not about that? Because if you aren't, I feel like it's a time right now for you to like make it clear that you aren't. And it's really time to like own the space that you're in and to like be very sure about what it is that you're saying, what it is that you're communicating, and being very firm about that, you know? And again, I feel like this is going to be like emotional. It's going to be sudden. It could be like a sudden, like you're awakening to something. You're seeing the truth about something. And you might not like it, or, you know, you're gonna feel triggered. You're going to feel very sensitive about this, but it's like, I feel like at the same time, you know that a change needs to happen, that something needs to be done here. I feel like something needs to be reconsidered, something needs to be like looked over. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. But I'm definitely seeing that this does look like very intense energy, and it does look like it's uncomfortable, like it can be uncomfortable. But let's see, I'm gonna pull a few cards from this oracle deck and then we'll wrap up the reading. We got Baba Yaga with patience. Can you guys see these cards? Ooh. Let's see. Chakra healing, and then I got another card here that fell. Was this turned over? I'm not sure if this card was turned over. It's joy, but I don't think that I'm gonna take it just because I'm not sure that it was flipped or not. Let me just try that again. Let's see I'll keep it in mind. I saw it, so I mean, is there anything else from this deck? And we also got You Are a Healer. So I don't know why it's just not feeling right to me right now to like pull those other cards. But they did come out. So we got Patience, Chakra Healing, Joy, and You Are a Healer also made an appearance. It's just not feeling right for me to like pull them. I don't know. So I'm just gonna like go with that. But Patience. So yeah, we're being called to have patience. I feel like they're saying focus on getting clear. You know what I mean? Like making sure that your insides, like your internal world is sorted through. The more time you take on balancing yourself and healing, like calling in very like high vibrational healing energies. Again, whether this is like through prayer, chanting, meditation, yoga, breath work, whatever it is that you do, it's being encouraged for you to take a lot of time to put into those practices, because the more you can keep yourself like aligned and in tune and connected, your discernment is going to be just so much more stronger. You're going to see things clearly. Again, you're moving towards like having that higher vision, that pure vision, aligning to the truth, aligning to love, and being able to discern when something just isn't right, you know, like when something doesn't feel right, when it feels like you're being shady, you're being sneaky, you're not facing something, you're trying to take some sort of like underhanded approach. It's like it's going to be very, very noticeable in your reality. It's going to be like a siren going off, you know, where you're going to be able to perceive it very clearly so that you can put an end to it, because it's like it's not going to be aligned with you. And so right now I just feel like we're all aligning to something higher, to something greater. And it seems that this is taking its time. This is like a process. That's why we're being called to be patient. But the more you do this work, the easier it's going to be to discern. And I feel like it's going to influence not only you, but like those around you as well. You're going to be healing yourself, but as you heal yourself, you're also an influence to heal other people, where you have the power to impact those around you in a positive way. And maybe, you know, guide others like on their own healing journey as well, which is the intention that we set at the beginning of the reading. It's coming out through the cards here, which is great. But yeah, I really do see that your healing, it's like your healing is going to be responsible for other people's healing. And so that's why they're saying like you are being called to be very responsible and to take the high ground, the high road, to be fair, honest, and to have a lot of integrity, because the way that you make decisions, the way that you show up, the way that you navigate things and handle things, it's always very important, but especially now. Because if we can act right, you know, like if we can act in alignment with our highest selves, in alignment with universal law, then I think that we're setting ourselves up for success, you know? Whereas if you're not doing that, if there is a misalignment and you are being deceived, or you're being deceitful, or you're giving into some sort of like illusion or something, that you're setting yourself up for disappointment, heartbreak, a disillusionment down the line, pain. So yeah, that's why it really matters. I just feel like maybe we're finding ourselves at some sort of like crossroads here, where I think we are being called to follow a new path, or to incorporate something new into our life. So embrace the changes, because this is our opportunity for redemption, for a rebirth, an awakening, a renewal. We're being called to act, to hear the call and to act on it. It's going to come through as kind of like a realization. And that realization is going to be very clear the more in tune and aligned you are. And that comes directly through like, you know, you taking the responsibility to get yourself there through your practices, or however it is that you do that work, so that you can kind of move through this period of transition with clear vision And yeah, it just seems like it's very final. Like it's a decision that is very final. You have to make a judgment call here so that we can kind of like move forward in this new path, in this new direction. They're also saying to use this present time to think about your future, to think about your values, and to make sure that it's all aligning, you know, and that you're very clear with the actions that you're taking. So again, you can set yourself up for success and align to a future that you find valuable, and so therefore you would find happiness. So the last message that I'm getting is that Spirit wants us to be optimistic. That's why that joy card made an appearance. You know, they do want you to focus on your joy, because when you're doing things that are making you happy or expressing yourself, like singing, dancing, having fun, letting loose, letting that inner child come out, doing whatever it is that you find joyful, this also helps like keep us aligned and high vibrational and clear. So they want you to make sure that, you know, you are connecting to the things that make you happy. That is going to be a big help right now, because this does seem to be a very intense time for all of us collectively. And just stay optimistic, and as long as you continue to declare yourself and make sure your actions are in alignment with the things that you value, then just rest assured that things will fall into place, that you are on path, and even if you can't see it yet, that everything will turn out for the highest good. And everything is going to be okay. It's all going to work out. You'll find your way through, and you'll be happy with the outcome that I think is really going to reach its peak like in 6 months' time, when we have the full moon in Scorpio next year. Okay, you guys, these were our messages. So just continue to hang in there. We got this as usual. Sending you all my love, big hugs. Take good care of yourselves. I do offer personal readings. So if you would like to dive deeper into your specific situation, I would be more than happy to connect. I'll leave my email in the description box below in case you're interested, so I can send you all of the details regarding that. Thank you guys so much for being here and for watching. I hope to see you again around here very soon. Until next time, bye.